discuss black hat techniques. Like,
Wow.
for the viewers out there, have you noticed at any point in the last, I would say, 3 years, any blue check people viewing your stories? That is automated. They're not viewing your stories. Only
They're not
verified
viewing your stories.
only verified accounts can do that through a black hat technique.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Daily Store Run Podcast. I am your host, Aaila. I have a special guest who works with all of the artists. I'm going to just say that. I'm putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Darris Robins
Yes.
of Pt.1 Global.
Yes, thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Darris Robins. I work with a company that's called Pt.1 Global. I'm also the owner of that company. We have marketing for artists, marketing for businesses. So I'm glad to be here in this professional set. It's awesome. Let's get to it.
It's you in this. So I'm gonna talk about that just a little bit, probably for like 5 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. So y'all, anyone who's been on this podcast or has been to Camp Kirk Studios, like you kind of have an idea of what the space looks like and of the energy of the individuals, the creatives and the entrepreneurs who work here. And I feel like when you're in a space like that, you kind of get inspired to consider how other people you're working with will feel coming into that space. Mm-hmm. Because, and when I went home, I thought about it and I was like, well, if I'm not being professional when I get a guest and they come into a space that's not mine, I was like, I also don't want that person to look at that space negative because of their experience with me. Where they're like, oh, I don't want to go to that studio no more because she was terrible. And like, if they're letting her there, then then shit, I don't even want to work with that person.
Yeah, it's very professional.
Yes,
I'm
I had to
actually
think about
a little
that.
bit nervous because it's the first time
Why?
I've been on a professional set even though I've been doing this for so long, but it's awesome. So
Are you nervous right now?
Like a little bit.
Okay. Think a little bit. Well, I feel like you'll get real relaxed.
Yeah.
Very soon. But yeah, like the professionalism is huge to me because I want people to walk away from being on my podcast, like I said to you, and if they're going on other podcasts, to know what questions to even ask if you go to those spaces, or to think about like how they treat you when you go to those spaces. Because like I know it's important, like with sending out the email and making sure people know when they come into this space, these are the things that we're going to work on. This is what you're going to do so that they can know like how they want to look, what questions they may have, like what time they need to be here, just so that, everything is very orderly.
And that's what our people need to get back to. Black excellence is a word that people say, but you actually have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to see it, you have to believe it, you have to touch it, you have to experience it to know that we have a standard, and that's something that we have to always shoot for. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like also that's just like I want to lead with a standard. Like I want people who are looking at, because I've had people in my DM like message me, and my podcast isn't even it is, but it's not. Okay. But like people messaging me just with questions on how to start one. And I'm still in the beginning stages of starting mine where I still have questions about certain things.
Yeah.
And I'll usually ask like the videographers and photographers here, like what cameras to use, and or just researching like what are the best mics for podcasts. Like how can I make my life easier by creating a podcast? So I really appreciate people wanting to do that. And I've always said yes to anyone who asks that, because like there's so many opportunities out here for all of us to dig into and put our own little twist on it, where we can work with whatever audience we have and we can, change the niche around to benefit that group.
Exactly. I 100% agree. And also with what we spoke about before, black men and black women working together in business is needed, especially here in Atlanta. It's a lot of competition, which is good, but it doesn't have to be combative competition. It doesn't have to be, I want to be, over you and run everything. We can collaborate and have a common goal and, get to the bag, because there's a lot of bags out there.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of them, so it's up to the individual to decide if they want to follow or want to be in that energy. But, I try to attract and be around like-minded people.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. So I guess when you started Mic Check Global, which was 2013, and how does that feel? How does it feel coming up on a decade of something that you created and being consistent to make it there?
You know what's so crazy?
Have you started?
It's so crazy because the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, it's going to be the 10th year of my company. And as the months went along, I forgot
That it was about to be
that was about to be, because it's about to be that in November of this year.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, dang, when you actually said it, because I was like, okay, it's 2023. Okay, that'll be the 10-year. But then I'm like, wait, no, it's going to be in November of this year. So I'm like, oh, snap. So I was 21 when I started Mic Check Global.
Wow.
And I didn't know what the word entrepreneur was. It wasn't a buzzword, being your own boss, wasn't none of that. I had $100,000 worth of student loan debt. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, racked up a lot of debt, dropped out after my second year.
Wow.
Because, I'm at 100,000. I'm like, I'm not finna.
Oh, yeah, I'm finna be deeper in the...
And it wasn't Harvard, it wasn't MIT. And those schools it's in Boston, so that's like in Massachusetts, like 30 minutes away or something like that. They offered a master's degree and all these things in the college I went to. It didn't, which didn't make any sense. And I'm just like, okay, I dropped out of that, became a full-time artist, started releasing my own music. And I was like, well, I need to market my music to make money, and that got me into marketing. And then I realized that marketing also can be done for businesses. And I started to dibble and dabble in that, kind of freelancing. And then that's when Vlad TV really took off. And I started to interview artists, and I called it Mic Check. And that's how I started on YouTube. Yeah, I started interviewing artists, so it's like kind of full circle right now. I would literally have a guest like on a couch, kind of like Vlad TV, with myself over there, asking them questions.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
How does that? Just you even just saying that right now, I'm like, damn, that is a full.
And I was living in a motel. Like, it was a lot going on in that time period, and I had my set in a motel couch. Like, if you go to youtube.com, /Mic Check Global, go to the oldest videos, you'll see it.
Wow.
On an orange background with a couch and like an African fabric we put over the couch. And that's how I made paid every week. It was like I was charging a little bit of money to do the interviews, to make rent like $200 a week. And it was like $800. So I was like, if I do 7 or 10 interviews a week, I can pay for my room / marketing / sell CDs / performances, because I couldn't get a job. Why? Because the first job I had, I was 17, and I went to college. So all those next 2 years, all of the employers were like, you have no job experience.
Done? Yeah.
They're like, what have you done? I'm like, I was in school. Like, but
and
you're
then
19.
Like, so where's the...
Right. I'm like, I'm 19 though. And they're like, well,
you still need these things.
Still need some type of experience. I'm just like, that, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
I feel like we all do it. That's probably the most important thing about the workforce.
That's what made me be what is called an entrepreneur, through just having to make it. Because when I said I had $100,000 worth of student loan debt, eventually I had to get paid off. Not to be long-winded, my loan was a private loan. So a federal loan, you can base it off income. A private loan, they want their money. So I was paying interest only for a while until I had to pay $1,200 a month.
For your loan?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, at that age.
God damn.
Yeah, so I turned into
Especially
just a
at that
savage,
age.
a savage hustler. Yeah, a savage.
I mean, thinking of that first stream, but thinking of that stream of income to say, okay, I'm going to create this, and if I can get this many people, then this is what I can pay
started
on.
doing math. I started doing math and just became just a money savage. I'm paying for it now because I gained a lot of weight over the years. I'm starting to lose it now, but yeah, I became a money hungry savage.
So you felt like you were just focused on making money? Like, was it making money in a space that you wanted to do, or was it until you figured out what you really wanted?
I was heartbroken because I couldn't be a full-time artist anymore.
Okay.
So I had to, and I couldn't get a job, but through my networking as an artist, I was able to do the interviews and through marketing tactics, develop services for artists and businesses. Okay. So I just became just a money hungry savage.
Why you keep saying it like that?
Because like
you looking back, what are you thinking?
When I tell you that's all I was thinking about, I didn't care how anybody felt. I didn't care about relationships in the aspect of like personal, because I had $1,200 a month I had to pay. So I would tell people I have an invisible house at 21.
Because you had a whole loan for it.
It's a whole loan.
You had a whole loan for it.
And it wasn't, and when I realized that the payments I was making was interest only means you're not chopping down the tree.
Yeah, it's still there.
You're not lowering the principal.
You're just paying off the interest for
and
them
I was
to
like,
make some money.
And they was like, well, to start chopping this down, you're gonna have to pay $1,200 a month, and that became, fire, because I can't bankrupt my parents who co-signed me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because that wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
Even though I don't recommend going to college for music. That could be a whole other segment, but I'll just end it right there.
But I feel like that's still good advice, just in a sense, for people to know that you have options, that you don't have to go the route that society or people in your life tell you have to go.
Yeah.
Because they've seen other people do it, or most people really speak from a place of not really knowing the full scope of what an option really looks like.
Yeah. Berklee College of Music, just going to school for music, it's so subjective. Like it can really trap you, because once you get a quote unquote degree in be a vocalist, have a degree in clarinet.
That's a thing.
Yeah. To be a professional musician, you can get like certified to teach clarinet or whatever standard that is.
That makes sense. Especially if you're talking about in the sense of like teaching other people. Yeah,
but people don't necessarily hire you because of that.
No one's like, so do you have your degree in clarinet? Because
right.
Because like people people really don't ask that at all for like really a lot of things.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna just say it's a scam. It's just a scam. Cause I help artists go viral. Where you go? You went to Morehouse for music. Okay. No, not for music. Oh, okay. For just school.
I just went there.
Yeah, so like annoying. Even going to school for photography and videography.
I feel like today is really word of mouth.
I can't stand college, to be honest, because college, it gives you a false sense of that you're really you're really moving the needle.
Yeah.
Like if you.
That is very true, because when you get out, you be right back where you was before you went.
It's like high school 2.0.
Yeah.
And for a long time, people have asked me, like, do you have a degree in marketing? Like, how can you tell me about marketing and things like that in the past? And I'm like, so let's do this. Mm-hmm. Let's say you go to any university right now, are they teaching you how to go viral or how to market on TikTok? Yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Right. And if they are, who is going to teach that?
Right. Yeah.
An influencer could possibly teach that, but why would an
But
influencer
why?
that's making
Yeah.
more money than a professor teach other people competition how to do that?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've talked to people wanting to go because I inspire, you know, a few people online that want to go into marketing as a career.
Okay.
And I tell them, hey, you know, just think of a niche that needs marketing and go for that instead of just, I want to get a degree in marketing to get hired from, you know, you could get hired at an agency, which is fair. You could do that, but it's really, if you can prove to somebody that you know numbers and you can match numbers and creativity, you can win.
Yeah.
So, and if you know some black hat techniques and some white hat techniques, you can win. Do you know what white hat is
I'm
and black hat?
assuming anything that a white person would utilize to get where they need
Well-
to get to.
Well, white hat is considered more so ethical, like passing
Why
out
is
flyers.
it considered white hat though?
That's just the term.
Over
like
the
black
black
ball,
one.
right? It's black hat.
I
Yeah.
don't like that. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Let me give you an example, right? So,
Y'all, black hat is when it's ethical.
but
'Cause we do shit to-
they do black hat. Like our phones listen to us. So let's say
Yeah.
we're talking about Pepsi. I might get a Pepsi ad.
Yeah. it's
That's
just
black hat.
crazy.
That's black hat.
Okay.
So if you ever notice when you log into an app through Facebook, you gotta like go through this pre-authorization before that collects all your data. So all of that data, they're able to now flip that and sell you stuff.
I'm
Have
telling
what
y'all,
algorithm-
and that
that's what
shit,
the
it really
algorithm-
pisses me off though, because like
Yeah.
you know when you notice it is when it's trippy. It's like
Yeah.
I was just talking about this, and I'm just seeing ads about.
That's black hat. So I'm in a community of marketers that discuss black hat techniques. Like
Wow.
for the viewers out there, have you noticed at any point in the last, I would say, 3 years, any blue check people viewing your stories? That is automated. They're not viewing your stories. Only
They're not
verified
viewing your story.
only verified accounts can do that through a black hat technique. I won't go into that, but that's just one of the black hat techniques.
What the hell? But you know what level of smart you? Because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Like-
I'm not even
like-
into marketing. To
Like
even,
follow, unfollow, automating your Instagram to like a bunch of pictures.
You know what I
automating-
noticed the other day? I was following some page. It was some girl who she was like engaging in my stuff, but I like sometimes I'll look at my story to see who was on there and what spam pages I need to block. And I was like, who is this girl? So I went to the page and I'm like, I never followed this person. And then I clicked like their business page and I was like, I never followed this business page. Who is this? And I was like, let me unfollow because how did you get me to follow you and I never
hat.
seen you in my life?
Black hat. You probably did it by connecting your Instagram to a certain app and it made you do it. I'm done.
Instagram's like, we're gonna have to call this man. He knows a little too
But that's
much.
how it goes. Like this one girl went viral from living in a van. She went viral like overnight. Her channel just got started and she got like 11 million views in one day.
What the doing what?
Living in her van. It was a
Oh,
black
showing
girl.
like her living in herself living in her. Okay,
That was
okay.
like 2 years ago.
Those are people are always curious about things like that.
Yeah, so marketing is it's a tricky thing because a lot of people, when I try to explain it, it's not anything tangible. Like you can't, like if you're selling water, like, okay, I know I'm getting water. Marketing is like an idea.
How can I show you that you should really enjoy this water
Right.
and buy it again,
And buy it again.
and then tell someone else
versus
about it?
this one.
Yeah.
Versus this water. How do you how do you
Yeah.
make marketing is the art of selling something and making you make a choice in your sale. And it's a market. So if people want it, you have to present it to create what's called marketing.
Right.
So an aspect of music marketing, everybody likes music.
Yeah.
But why would they listen to your song over this person's song? So music is like a service product hybrid because you have to almost sell it before they even listen. You have to kind of have people already liking something before you like it, but how do you get people to like it?
Yeah.
That's the trick. It's like if somebody's already viral, then you're listening to them. But if everybody is thinking that way, how do you even start to get the ball rolling before you even start liking somebody? Because 9 times out of 10, everybody is a fan of somebody that is known. It's rare to really find somebody who has 1,000 followers. You're their fan till a million.
Yeah.
That's extremely rare, you know.
So would research be the first step in what that looks like for someone who is like, well, how can I get people to buy into this? Is it researching your competition?
Or their product?
Anything, whether it's music or you could do both, music or a product.
Gotta have a little savage in you.
What does that mean? Like savage in regards to connecting with people?
If we're gonna be all the way 100, business is not. When you get to the like levels, business is war, right? So you have to put yourself in a position of knowing that if I win, somebody to a certain degree is losing because I'm taking away margin from them. So that's why a lot of
I like that perspective, by the way.
yeah, it's like a lot of narcissists are successful because they're savage. But
But they're like next level savage.
But they're the best.
They are the best. But they're next level savage.
But they're the best.
It's like, I want to be the best, but I don't want to.
Like, they will sabotage their competition to lose so they can win. So I haven't went to that level. To be honest, I've never done anything like that. I just know that you have to have a little bit of that to survive. And my savage came from just I'm obsessed with my goal, and I kind of, put myself in a bubble and kind of got away from family and friends who wasn't supporting me and to that nature, but really like lasered in, focused on what I wanted. And, some people believe in balance. I believe in both. I believe you should balance and unbalance and balance those. That's what I believe.
I like it.
So that's kind of savage.
Like the way.
It's a little savage.
I mean,
to be like, you know what? I'm going to work from sun up to sundown for 3 years straight. I'm not going to no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no birthday. That's a little savage because what it does to you mentally on the other end when you kind of stop and kind of look at it is like, dang, you're gonna make some mistakes, but the other end of it is you have a lot of success.
Yeah, that is very true.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it to fuel you. I'm not gonna say where I'm at today because I didn't have it. You gotta have some of it. But hopefully, when you get to a certain point, you can kind of bag away a little bit from it, or just kind of balance that energy a little.
Yeah.
Because you might need some therapy after you're done, because you're gonna see a lot and go through a lot going up there.
So you've been a part of kind of like a trifecta. So music, marketing, having to, especially with starting your business in 2013 and then seeing the transition of so many things within our economy and social media in 2023.
Social media was big. I told y'all, for those out there. They was on Instagram. No. They was just getting Instagram. Most people got their Instagram pages probably 2014, 2015.
Wow. I got mine 2012.
Well, that's rare. Most
I think that's
quote
when it like
unquote
started.
rappers and like
Yeah.
artists, like they
Yeah, 'cause
was
they
just
weren't
on
on
Facebook.
there.
They
Yeah.
weren't on there. I was like, y'all need to get on Instagram. I'm telling y'all,
So
get
you the
on
reason why we
Instagram.
don't like it now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Like,
not.
can y'all get off of it now? Because I kind of just want it to be regular. Like, I want to post my photos the way I used to post them with the 3 photos in one.
See, Facebook
Just
bought Instagram after
normal.
that. That's it was Facebook.
Like, everyone's Instagram pages at some point looked exactly the same. We all
Back
posted
then?
the same kind of photos.
Back then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because Instagram they were independent. It was fun.
Yeah, it was like no one was thinking about all of this
Then
other
Facebook
extra
bought
shit.
it, and then it all changed. Facebook bought it, I think 2015, I think,
Oh, okay.
something like that. And I knew
That
it
makes
was
so
over.
much sense. Yeah, because I think that was the time. That was around the time that I noticed that it was so different. I was like, "What the freak is going on?"
Yeah,
And it happened so quickly, though. At the same time, like it didn't give us enough time to adjust to
not
what
at
is
all.
about to happen.
And then Facebook took it over and then made it want to be Snapchat with stories and
Yeah,
Reels with TikTok and so many other things that it's just, yeah. But I told y'all, the ones who watching, that's going to watch this podcast, I told y'all social media is
what
the
it was.
wave.
Let's look at this one.
I told y'all, whichever one.
This
all
is your
three,
main one.
I told y'all Instagram was the thing. I told y'all.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing now. But I really do highly dislike it. But so I wanted to get into the trifecta, right? Because
Yeah.
when you were talking, I was like, okay, you have to kind of be insightful and knowledgeable in different areas because they all kind of come together. So like knowing how social media works and like you said, like all whatever that language, the black hat and the white hat, and
White
just
hat.
knowing like language behind algorithms and needing to know like optimizations and stuff like that. And then having
gotta
to
be a
look at
nerd.
marketing.
You got to be a nerd and creative,
Yeah.
which is very
That's a
hard.
lot.
It is. You
It's
have to
like-
be left and right brained. You
Yeah.
have to be, and with the trifecta, I tell a lot of folks about entrepreneurship. A lot of times, it's okay to have somebody run a company you started and you be the technician.
Yeah.
And then, or if you can't do the operating, but you have the vision, you have to know which one you are.
Yeah.
So for myself, I was just blessed to be able to have a little bit of everything. You know, now I'm able to kind of delegate to my staff, but before it was very hands-on and very, very stressful having to do everything. But yeah, to have a marketing agency in this day and age, especially working with businesses and artists, you have to be very nerdy with numbers and very creative. And I'm not gonna say nerds aren't creative, but most of the time when you think about a nerd, they're very like
Most
white
people are
and
either
black.
left or right brained.
Right.
Yeah.
But a marketer you have to.
Have a
This is a normal day. Somebody say, I want to market. Let's just say a cookie line that they want to have. They got some cookies. We got to do 3 things. How much does it cost to make your cookies? How much is it going to cost to market
Your
the
overhead.
cookies? And then what are we going to sell it to make a profit on both? So you got to have a cost to make, cost to market, and then you got to sell it. But then the 4th thing is, are they going to buy it at that price?
Right.
So a lot of times when you're dealing with people who have, startups, they just look at cost to make. And it's like, okay, let me just try to lower my cost to make, or, I just have my cost to make, but they don't think about cost to market because it could take you, if your cookie costs $10, depending on where you are in your business, it could cost you $3 to make it, but it could cost you another $5 per sale. It'll cost you about $5 to sell one, and you hopefully make about $2, I think. And is it worth it?
Is it worth all of the?
Plus, you might have 2 or 3 people in your company, so now 75 cents, 75. So it's like when you get to that point, it's like, do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Okay.
at that point, at that level, or would you want to be an entrepreneur? Where it's like, I will join a company and I will be an executive.
Yeah. I'll
which
help them
is
grow.
just fine.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because I wanted that. I didn't want this at first.
I didn't want this.
I wanted a job. I wanted something that was gonna pay. I used
job.
to envy people who had jobs because I was up all night trying to get sales. I would hear 99 no's and 1 yes, and that would cover my bills. That's super stressful.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I'd be like, man, y'all getting paid on Friday regardless. Regardless, y'all
Regardless of what
paid.
you did. Yeah, you still getting your check.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, I wish I had that.
Right,
man.
yeah. It's the stability in it.
Man, I didn't know.
it's the
I
stability.
used to think credit was the devil because my credit was so bad.
That's what people think it's the
college.
devil when it be bad. Like, fuck credit.
And I would see people pulling out new cars, driving new cars, and I didn't know they was using their credit. I thought they was cashing them out.
Credit
Do you
is the bag.
Do you understand what type
Credit
of
is the
mindset I
bag.
was in?
Yeah, because that's
Oh my God, I'm making a
Everybody
good amount
got
of money.
cash.
I'm making a good amount of money, but I'm thinking people are cashing out
Yeah.
everything because you hear rappers saying it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I was
yeah,
brainwashed into thinking
Yeah.
that people just cashing out cars. I just bought a new car. Damn, that car was 20 grand, but they just
you had
cashed out.
20 grand on you?
That's what I was thinking. So I ended up buying my first used car in cash. I sure did.
I mean, but at least you use cash for yours.
Yeah,
like you
sure
could say
did.
you could say you use cash. I feel like that's
Yeah, but I learned a lot after that time period. But that.
But is that a conversation you have with artists when they're like, okay, because I also saw on your page on the website that you also
Yeah.
give individuals the opportunity to have like plans,
Yep.
so they can choose a plan, and based on that plan is like, which I guess is based on what their goal is.
Man, that's the thing. A lot of artists want the world.
Of course, they want the
But
they want the
but
they want what the $5,000 plan comes with.
Yeah, but they're not. I'm not gonna say all of them because that's not true. A great majority of artists think like this. This is the typical artist right here.
So this is what you probably should not do if
Yeah.
you're looking for this type of service to brand yourself.
Yeah, you spend $300 in the studio making a song. You spend $1,000 shooting the video. You spend another $1,000 on your outfit. And you put the video out, you put the song out, and within 1 or 2 weeks, you do the same thing again. You go spend $300 in studio again, mixing and mastering the beat, another $1,000 for video, So now, you do that a few times, you haven't even cracked 1,000 views, but you spent thousands of dollars. So then you see a video of mine, it says you need marketing, or you've seen it before, but being hard-headed. And it's like, okay, all right, cool. What's the marketing thing? And I'm like, well, you should have did the reverse with your budget and spent maybe 90%, what I call the 90% rule, 90-10 rule, 90% of your budget marketing, 10% production, so you can do what's called, it's like a sampling type of technique with music. It's similar to food samples.
Okay.
So when you put out a single, you're not giving them the album.
Yeah.
You're giving them a sample to test out the market, to see, and then you eat with the album. The single is a throwaway. Most of the time, you don't make money off the single unless it's a super hit.
Right.
Then you make money from it.
Yeah.
But what labels do, they put out singles, they test the market, they see what
People
market
respond.
likes,
Yeah.
what they respond. It's like a sampler, right? You build off of that single, and then you deliver the album. What indie artists do, they just drop all the
Projects,
time.
yeah.
And they drop whole projects, and then by the time they get to me, they done blew their budget. So they don't have $100, or not even that they don't have it, they blew their budget, so it hurt. Their pockets hurt.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, I got to come out another $1,000. But it's like, yes,
But this will get you,
this will get you where you want
if
to
you
go.
started this in the beginning,
Yes.
we're going to get.
So what I tell artists is dig deep, It's time to do this.
What they say in the church, dig deep in your pockets and your budget.
It's time, because if this is what you really want to do, back to
Yeah.
what I said earlier, you got to be obsessed about it.
Yeah.
You're going to make mistakes, but you have to be, if you really want this, you have to be obsessed to a certain point to be like, okay, it didn't work. All right, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to try something new and make it happen. But, a lot of times I'm not there, talking to them every day.
Yeah.
They got somebody in their ear saying, stay in the studio, keep recording. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
If you do not have a fan base to offer this much music to,
Who are you recording? Yeah. Who are you branding to? Like, who is your marketing?
exactly. It's like
going on.
It's like, if you feel like you're talented, I give artists the example of having a restaurant. If you have the best steak ever and you spend all this money on gold silverware, right? The whole ambiance is perfect, but you have no customers. You just do it because you love it.
Yeah.
That's what artists say to me every day. But you have spent 20
You're
grand.
exhausting yourself.
Do you want to know the highest budget I've ever came across that people
scared.
blew? I want to get a
I'm
few.
scared. Like
yeah,
10?
like how much like they spent on like recording, not marketing, just recording music.
Like 5? Is that low?
Like just a sum of money that they spent in a course of a few years, or a project, or just 50. Okay.
Well, damn, my number was way too low. Clearly,
Well,
that
it's
didn't
just,
work
I mean, it's a guess.
like 20.
20, ma'am.
Yoshi,
What do you think?
75.
What I've come across the most that an artist has spent is 125.
I'm not spending.
Let me tell you how it was broken down.
I'm not spending.
This artist said that it's a female artist, no bias to females. It's dudes way worse. It's more 50s in the dudes. It just happened to be a female with the 125. She says that I worked with Grammy Award winning producers. I worked in the best studio. This is, again, the gold silverware thing. This is the Wagyu beef steak.
I did
level.
this.
This is the king crab.
So where's your
level.
music at now?
And she hit about like 30,000 streams.
With those award-winning producers?
Because that don't make your career.
But it's the fact that people believe
They
that.
believe it.
Even with just, especially with, I feel like with rap, because of the
R&B.
the thing with tags. It's like when you hear a producer tag, it's like, I need to work with that producer. That producer is
man.
gonna get my music where I need to get it
I just wish we as a people would just smarten up a little bit. Like,
I'm glad you said it, because I be wanting to
Man,
say on every episode, like, are we not reading anymore? Are we not doing due diligence?
and that's
are we
why I
not
said
researching?
I didn't want to be super controversial on your podcast, but it's not going to affect
No,
me
this
in a
isn't
negative
controversial.
way. It's not going to affect me in a negative way, because my audience already know I talk like this. But we need to stop calling ourselves kings and queens for a bit. We got to stop. Because we not that right now.
But that's not controversial. I think controversial topics be things that people are purposely trying to discuss to stir up the pot.
I don't know. Like, somebody might not like that.
But I feel like it's the
said.
intention behind the podcast.
The message is,
Because this message is like
message
today is
is
if
we
you want to
suck
get
right now.
if you have an idea and you want to get somewhere with whatever your idea is, then there is a sense of due diligence one should want to do to be better at the craft that you're getting into, and then to be more mindful of the market that you want to sell to, especially with where social media is now. There's no way you're on social media, you're seeing other artists, you're seeing other producers, other creatives, other talents. You're seeing how they're putting out themselves, their brand, their merch, whatever. It's like there's no way you can see what that looks like, and you've seen their journey or what have you, and think to yourself like, oh, okay, all I really have to do is this. Like, there's no way how do you think they got to that point? Like, Like, let's say it's merch. It's like, well, who are their suppliers? You have to research suppliers. You have to research
But our
changes
people
in market.
aren't really in it for the business. They're in it for the clout and just
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
they're in it
To
for
go
after
viral.
you make it, what do you get?
Yeah.
And a lot of our people get sprinkles of that and they run with it. Like, I mean,
It's crazy.
I'm very like a raw kind of. I'm in a raw energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you got somebody from the hood or just a rapper that, you know, he's a man. So what is he gonna want? He's gonna want attention. He's gonna want women and money. Mm-hmm. Okay, if he can get that by just having a hood anthem, he's satisfied.
Yeah, very content.
So a lot of that is, well, I'm already getting, you know, all the girls in the neighborhood already. I'm already hood rich. I'm already walking around with $10,000
Yeah.
in my pocket when people ain't got 50 cent. So I already feel like a king,
Yeah, I
quote
got
unquote.
something.
So I don't really have to do what you say because I already feel like I'm
already
the
there.
dude. I'm already there.
I don't need you to help.
I don't need you.
Yeah.
So that combative attitude, it hurts us because on the other end of that, you have people that don't look like us take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because how do you stun on your people? You got to go to somebody that don't look like you to get the jewelry, to get the cars, to get all that stuff, to then just
Come back in your neighborhood and start acting
and stun on your
moving
own
weird.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a constant cycle. So when I tell them like, hey, you know, you don't have to spend that much money to become this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times they need therapy because they be saying, "Oh, I need to get this off my chest. I need to record. I need to record." If you in that much pain, weed ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Drink ain't gonna do it. Music ain't gonna do it.
All of the distractions are not going to do it.
You need some therapy.
Yeah.
Because let's say after the therapy, do you really want to rap? Yeah. Is this really your passion or you just depressed?
Yeah.
Because depression can warp stuff, you know, to where it's like, well, I'm depressed, but I just had, you know, this sexual encounter with a couple of girls in the hood. Now I feel better, but you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I just had something from Cali I'm smoking on, and it's great. But you got to do it again, and you got to pay for it over and over and over, and you never get to a point where it's like I'm good. You know what I mean? Those are majority of my clients, and I try to get them in just another state of mind. But that's just hard.
That's very
hard, and it's especially hard when their goals are not necessarily mine. Like I don't want none of that stuff.
Yeah.
I just want, you know, a successful business. They want the money and all this other stuff. Yeah. So it makes it complicated,
But I like that you speak on the fact that therapy is something that should be an option when someone is in that space, because you do hear that a lot, especially with music, where it's even just listening to people's albums and they like, oh, I made that album when I was, you know, I was just got a relationship, I was stressed out, they cheated on me, and now you got a whole album and everyone's listening to basically you having been sad for all of this time, and they're vibing off of that sad, like that energy, instead of seeking something outside of what that looks like. Because a lot of times all of those are distractions. It's like, how can I basically avoid myself and go into something else that just takes me for more of me? And it's like, if you really love yourself and you want to get to a space of creating whatever is in your heart to create, then you're going to want to do everything in your power to know who you are as like an entity or just as an individual in this world. And I feel like once you have that outlook as, okay, this is who I am, this is what my purpose looks like, this is what I want to strive for, these are my support systems, everything else definitely like aligns itself in the way it needs to naturally, because you're choosing yourself. You're not choosing everything around you to get to a viral point. You're just choosing to live like wholeheartedly and really who you are. And
that's what comes with maturity and time. And I've talked to a lot of artists that, you know, they be telling me their problems, and I've got text messages. They done texted me. They trying to text other people. Oh man, just
To like talk?
Um, well, when I get on the phone with them, they want to talk. But I've gotten like random text messages of like,
Okay.
"Oh, he got shot," you know.
So what do you do with that? Like when
I
do you
just be like,
engage or?
I just be like, wrong person, you know.
At least you're honest.
Yeah,
At least you're
I've gotten a
honest.
few, we shot that nigga. I think he dead,
Wow.
Oh yeah, very police stuff. They just accidentally, these 10 years. Oh,
Real
absolutely.
police.
Oh yeah.
That is true. Cause why are you saying this to me
Because they in the moment and they off whatever pill.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, how many artists be talking about the drugs they take, and they want to die and all this other type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's very, the music industry can get a little dark.
Yeah.
And I just try to give a little light to it, if possible.
Yeah.
And just say like, okay, if you got to go through these things, where everybody go through some type of darkness, at least try to, find yourself to a lighter type of situation. Because the type of music they pushing right now, the TikTok wave, and
I swear.
have you seen the NPC thing?
It's on TikTok?
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I have it, but I just use it to.
Yeah, well, like it's a girl. Well, it's like girls and guys that are like doing the same thing over and over and over.
Like that's the point of their thing is to.
Yeah, they're like, I can't even explain it, but like.
Are they doing it over and over to
See that
show
cat,
what it?
See that cat that's doing this? They'll do something like that, but like for like 30 minutes, like actions like that. They might
Like
just
in the
hop.
video, they're just.
Yeah, they may hop. They may say the same thing like an NPC, like over and over and over, like a robot. Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about? I think I seen a video like this on Twitter. I think this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was a girl, and she would like.
Say the same
I
thing.
don't even want to do it. They
I
gonna be
know
like,
what you're
"What
talking
the
about.
fuck?"
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but she
You know
getting
that
paid.
girl with the.
I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
was like, "What is she doing? And what
It's
is
scary,
this?"
man. It's scary.
Do y'all know
man.
who he's talking about? You ever seen that girl on? I've seen her on TikTok.
Yeah.
I
Twitter.
think she's Latina, but she does the thing where she's like, yummy.
Yeah, man.
I just seen her. It's kind of weird.
Man, that's sad, man.
It's kind of weird.
And she,
I thought that was some AI shit, but it was like,
Me too. At first, when I saw it, I was like, "Why
they
is
call
she
it the
moving like
NPC
that?"
thing because that's what we unfortunately headed towards in the metaverse and the Matrix. That's what we headed. People like, nah, that's bull.
No, that's just
no,
real.
that's real. If she's getting paid $4,000 in 1 hour to do
I
that,
swear to goodness.
and people are like, I think I'm a meow. let me make a little bit of that.
Oh my god.
So I can make some money, and kids are like, yo, I want to
Kids
be a
enjoy
YouTuber.
that.
They
Oh,
I want to be a
yeah,
YouTuber.
yeah.
I don't want to be a
A doctor,
a doctor, a
anything.
lawyer, or whatever. Because
Be a YouTuber.
TikTok in China is totally different than TikTok in America. In China, kids are going viral for being geniuses.
Yeah.
Over here, they're going viral for doing the yummy thing.
Foolishness.
And it's
For
like,
embarrassing
I want to do
themselves.
that. I want to be a TikToker when I grow up. I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. And it's like,
It's turned into why do they have the
Okay.
whole degrees
Okay.
on
you
YouTube,
got
social media and stuff like that.
You got the Pound Town girl, you know the Pound Town girl.
Who is that?
You don't know the Pound
Oh,
Town?
but what's Pound? Why do they call her the Pound Town girl?
Yeah,
Oh, I never knew that. Every time I hear it, I change it
right. Yeah, yeah.
immediately.
She's from my city,
But that be the thing. Like if you come out with a record, let's say you are amazing as an artist, but if the record you're coming out with to, I guess, blow yourself up is dumb as shit, me personally, I am less likely to listen to anything else you put out. Because I feel like, why would you?
And
I would
you
feel
know,
like I
people
don't want to
justify
ever dumb myself down or dim myself so that other people enjoy something that I'm doing.
And people
Like if all of my
justify it,
music
like,
is great and it sounds nothing like, that's the song My Booty Hole Brown thing.
yeah,
If I ever have to say some shit like that for people to, then I don't even want it.